So my ex just sent me a voice note of her with her new man in bed together, basically giggling at me and laughing at me. And basically, she has been showing the messages I sent to her, trying to get her back to her new man, her family, and all her friends, basically laughing at me and making fun of me, um, using my pain as, I guess, a joke, I guess you could say. I'll give you guys a little bit of context because you're probably lost. 2 months ago, around 2 months ago, me and my ex broke up. The reason why we broke up, we got into a argument here. She came here because she had nowhere to go. This is my student accommodation. At the time, I was really trying to focus on life. I felt like she was seeing me too often. I didn't really get enough chance to work on my own goals, and I just felt like she'd kind of overstepped. So in that moment, I kicked her out. I wasn't thinking that it was something serious because in the past I've done this and she'd always try and, come see me, come see me. That night, she would later go to spend the night at a guy's house that she was friends with. Yeah, we all know how that ends. And she'd end up sleeping with him. After that night, she would later admit that truth to me late in the night. Well, her friends would make her admit it. Well, you know what I'm saying? She typed up basically saying that, she had sex with someone. You know what I'm saying? She would later, when obviously she wanted to get me back because I cut her off, I was like, fuck you. She would later then go on and say it's sexual assault. And she used the proof for sexual assault being that there was bleeding and, rough lacerations down there. There was like an NHS study. For those who don't know, this can occur when you have rough sex. Like, it's not the proof be all end all. To be honest, the ultimate proof of sexual assault will just have to be, I guess, the next day she waited too long. It's not conclusive proof. Obviously, at the same time, I don't want to make this video to put down any women who have been through sexual assault. At the time, I chose to believe her, but we still weren't together because I just wasn't sure, right? But for the most part, after processing what happened, because for the first week I did think she cheated on me, and I did what any self-respecting man would do in that situation, and I moved on, right? I decided to get back into the dating pool, things like that, and I moved on. And then when she came back and she was like, no, it happened, I was conflicted. But recently I've been trying to get her back, right? I've been messaging her, I've been, I believe it now, right? I believe it. Cool. I believe it, Um, even though some people would say, oh, bro, that doesn't mean it is what it is. I believe it, right? I want to take you back. I want to work it out. But she's been moving distant. She's been moving distant, and she went, well, I decided to initiate no contact, but she fully enjoyed the no contact because, yeah, she didn't give a shit about me. I broke no contact multiple times. I lost my self-respect multiple times. And to top it all off, today, like I said at the start of the video, I sent her a massive paragraph saying how much I loved her, how much I want her back. And she was just emotionless. She didn't care about me. In my heart, even a week ago, I knew she'd found some other guy. I knew some other guys had her heart. Because at one point during this situation, she was the one who wanted me back, but I wasn't just taking her back instantly, you know what I mean? But at this point, at this point, this point, a lot, and I do mean a lot, of the emotions were starting to hit me. I started to feel a sense of responsibility. Like I said, I bought into it. Like, oh, did she actually get assaulted? I don't know. My brain's a mess. But all I know is I want to make it right. I want to get back with my girlfriend, right? This was my first relationship as well. And I threw away so much self-respect. I would phone her 50 times, spam call her. I would message her on other people's phones, begging her. I literally begged her to take me back. I would break down, get emotional, almost to the point of tears, to the point where she can hear that my voice is a bit choky. I sent her numerous paragraphs saying how much I loved her and how much we can make this work, how much I want her back. And today I found out all of that was pointless because she's found a new person, or she's been found a new person for a month, you know. For a month, she's been speaking to this new person. They're close, I know the guy. And she literally laughed in my face with this guy. She laughed. At the time, I confronted her about new information that I found out, because there was now news sources basically confirming that she did in fact cheat on me, including people that were there that night. And I wanted to confront her about it. But even back then, when I thought there was a possibility that she cheated on me, bro, I would have still taken her back. I know on the internet, as a man, you're not supposed to admit things like that, but bro, I would have done it. I didn't have any self-respect. I didn't have any self-confidence. I didn't have any self-belief in myself. I didn't respect myself. I would have taken her back in an instant. And even now that I've gotten that voice note, my feelings are still just, my heart is broken. You know, imagine paragraphs explaining how you want to make it right. You're just getting laughed at. This person that claimed they loved you is literally laughing at you. And the way she said it, this is how she said it. She was like, yeah, well, he's been my man for a month now and things are going pretty good. You know, she's trying to hurt me. Mentally, she's trying to fuck with me. And I know she's trying to fuck with me. And to go from somebody who I really thought I was going to marry, the love of my life, you know, this is the first woman that really made me feel like I was loved, like to a different level. Like I felt like I was loved. I felt like she genuinely loved me deeply. And to go from that to just, at this point, high likelihood she probably cheated. You know, who knows about that assault story is real. Literally everyone around her is denying it. And I'm not saying that to discourage people with the assault, but there's just too much evidence. There's also screenshots of her texting the guy that don't make her look good in certain light. I don't want to put too much in this, but there's a lot more aside from just people just that show that she was a willing participant that night. And then she moved on very quickly. And I'm not perfect. I hurt her too. You know, at the time I found another girl and she was begging me to take me back, saying she would do anything. And, you know, I didn't want to entertain it at the time. And I guess that was my mistake. But looking back, it wasn't a mistake because, to be honest with you, the way she handled the situation was just fucked. And especially now, the way she's handled the situation now with me, laughing at me, clowning me, is just fucked up. And I say this to say a lot of men, because a lot of guys, yeah, a lot of men, they have this idealization of a villain arc, that this girl hurt me and now I'm gonna go fuck every girl, I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna be a scumbag, you know? And I want to start a movement, starting with myself, that when we get hurt, we don't become bitter, we become better. When we get done wrong, we do people right. When people treat you with disrespect, you treat the world as a whole with more kindness. I'm really against this idealization of being a bad person. Because if I was to become a bad person, if I was to discard people's feelings and cheat, if I was to, you know, send voice notes laughing at another girl's pain, if I was to do all that, I would be no better than her. And truth be told, I feel bad for her. I don't even feel angry at her anymore, because at the end of the day, I hurt her, and this is just her attempt to hurt me. You know, I really do hope it works out with the guy, but from what it seems, this whole thing just seems as a ploy to, you know, get back at me and hurt me. And I know that in the case that it doesn't work out, the person that she'll run to is going to be me. But by that point, I can't take her back, and I feel bad for her. You know, she's not had the best people in her life. She's not had the best upbringing and things like that. Not the best people to teach her from right or from wrong. I truly do feel bad for this woman. There's no hate in my heart towards her. And if she was to ever come back to me and say, I apologize for how I spoke to you that night, I apologize for this, I apologize for that, I would forgive her. I wouldn't take her back. Definitely wouldn't take her back. But I would forgive her. Because this attitude of being done wrong and wronging others is completely, completely disgusting. Why should I make the world a worse place because I suffer? There's been nights that I've cried myself to sleep. There's been nights that I've begged God and pleaded with him that we can just make this relationship work. And even now that she's hurt me this deep, I still love, I still have so much love for her. It's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if I was to now have a villain arc, if I was to now cheat, what would that make me? God's blessed me now to the point where I have another person in my life that's good, genuinely a nice person, and good traditionally in terms of they've not been around, all of that stuff. I don't want to treat that person badly just because I've been hurt. It's wrong. I want to be a better person. I want to be a kinder person. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to make people feel the way that I feel. I want to make people feel good. I want to make people feel positive. I don't want to hurt people. I want to be a better person, genuinely be a better person. I want to be the type of person who I see a homeless man and I give him money. I want to be the type of person who sees an old lady and I help her cross the street. I want to be the type of person I can forgive people. When this first happened, I felt so much hatred, but then I had to ask myself, she's still a human. As much as I can villainize her in my head as some evil person who went out of their way to hurt me, she probably felt hurt by the way I handled the situation. Who knows if she cheated or not, but she probably felt hurt. She probably felt betrayed at some level. She definitely felt betrayed when I kicked her out that night. And she's human. She's doing the human response. To whereas she feels a level of hurt, she's going to try and hurt me. And even though I don't agree that the level of hurt I put her through is the equivalent of the level of hurt she's putting me through, at the end of the day, she's a human being. That's another thing. People demonize people. Oh, this person did this to me. They're a horrible person. Now, don't get it twisted. The actions taken were horrible. She knew that she literally passed the phone over to her new man and they were talking to me. She was laughing at me. I now know for a fact that all those paragraphs I sent to her, she probably sent it to her GC. She probably used, look at this dickhead, I know I'm the laughing stock in her house, and I know that she has zero respect for me. I know if she saw this video, she would probably laugh. By the end of the day, she's human. We're all human. We're not perfect. None of us are. But that's the beautiful thing about being a Christian, is that when we look at Jesus's life, for example, Jesus was able to walk down a path of righteousness and perfection. And his ideology of total forgiveness and letting go and things like that is such a beautiful ideology when you step into it. Now, I'm not a perfect Christian, by no means. I've had sex before marriage. I've drunk alcohol, or no, the correct word is I've fornicated. I've drunk alcohol, pursued all the worldly pleasures. I speak with corrupt language, filthy language, bad communication, I believe it's called. I've done a lot of things. Sexual immorality in terms of masturbation. I've done so many things that God probably looks at me with contempt. But the one aspect that I am trying to fix and I am trying to draw closer to God is genuinely to be more like Jesus. Maybe not in the perfect way of I'll never sin, which I know is bad because Jesus did say, if you love me, keep my commandments. But at the very, very least, I want to forgive everyone who hurt me. I don't want to hold on to hate, because hate can ruin you. Hate can really fucking ruin a person. When you hate someone, it can really, really, really fuck with you. Same thing if you love them. The opposite of hate and love is apathy. And apathy comes when you forgive and you let go, you know? You let go of the negative emotions. You let go of the attachment. You let go of so many of these things. You let go, you know? I can't say I wish this type of pain that I felt the last 2 weeks on anybody. But then it's easy to say that, but I could just so easily, the next person, the person I'm talking to now, I could hurt them just because I've been hurt. You know, I could hurt so many women. I could cheat on so many women. I could manipulate so many women just because I've been hurt, just because I feel like this person has wronged me. But then this person feels like I've wronged them. But then at the same time, I feel like they've wronged me. And it's just a cycle of people that have been hurt and people that have hurt people and hurt people hurting more people. And the world just, everyone's fucked. Where's the love? Nobody leads with compassion. Nobody leads with love anymore. Nobody leads with genuinely trying to become a better human being. Nobody cares about that. Everybody's just worried about themselves, and everybody's just worrying about looking good to themselves. You know? To end it, I want to share with you just the final part of this. Obviously, like I said, I didn't handle things the best way myself. Self-accountability. You know, I was shouting at her like, oh, I think you cheated. To be honest, I guess you guys in the comments can be the deciders of that, you know, that fact that if she actually did originally cheat on me. But that's not the point. The point is, at the end of the conversation, you know, I said some very foul things. I said some very mean things, some things that that don't represent the type of person I want to be moving forward. I went to a very dark, negative place. And I remember I wanted to text her saying that, you know, I know you sending that voice note with that guy, I know you're sending it to hurt me. But I just want you to know that I forgive you. Probably would have laughed at it in the moment, but maybe in like a year or two, maybe a year or two, or 3. How many years it takes, I think perhaps that would have given her some closure. I didn't end up sending that text though, because my friend warned me and said, unless she goes out of her way to apologize to you, because at the end of the day I did get wronged, then I shouldn't send that. And I think that's fair enough. She definitely will see this video. I know that for a fact. But yeah, when that day does come, if that day comes, where she looks back on the situation and, you know, maybe she feels like she did wrong me, because I'm not perfect, but I do believe I was a good boyfriend. Like a genuinely good boyfriend. I didn't cheat, didn't lie. I treated her well, took care of her emotionally. I literally read The Way of the Superior Man just so I could love her better. And, you know, yeah. The one line that really hit me was, yeah, I have love for you, but I'm no longer in love with you. But she didn't even say it normally. She kind of snickered it like, yeah, I'm not in love with you. Hey, here's what it is. But when that day comes, or if that day comes, hopefully I can have enough grace to end it properly. And I think the thing I'll say is, I understand where you're coming from. You're human. You didn't mean to hurt me. I didn't mean to hurt you. And even though we can't just erase what happened, because some things can't be fixed, just know that I've completely forgiven you. And I hold no grudges against you. And I hope the next person you will hurt, because we are human, we will hurt people, or the next person that hurts you, that you can do the same for them.